OP thinks his wife acts like a teenager still. Reddit diagnosis. She is mentally ill. My wife behaves like a teenage girl, and I don't know whether to laugh or cry. This is just a rant. I am curious to know how many full-grown adults behave the way my wife does. I'd say out of all of the adult women I know, like friends, relatives, and wives of my friends, none of them behave this way unless they keep it a closely guarded secret. Editing right here to add that my wife is in her 30s. For context, my wife is always obsessed with somebody, a man, or sometimes multiple men at one time. Usually, there are one or two main focuses at a time. When I say obsessed, I mean obsessed like a teenage girl, or maybe even a preteen girl would be. I've seen pictures of her bedroom when she was that age, and they were literally wallpapers on posters of her favorite guys. That's totally normal for a 13-year-old girl. She still behaves that way as a woman in her 30s. Granted, our bedroom walls aren't wallpapered with posters, but they probably would be if I allowed it. Her obsessions have ranged from rock stars to actors to non-entertainment industry public figures. It's like one day she hasn't even heard of the guy in question, and the next day she's super fan #1 and knows just about everything there is to know about him. She will read and watch everything there is to watch about the man. She will bring him up in every conversation. She will adopt parts of him into her own personality. She will suggest things that make it clear to me that she wants me to adopt the characteristics of these men as part of my appearance or personality. She will openly admit to me that she's masturbated over the guy multiple times in one day. When she finds a new man to obsess over, she puts the others in her little stable of men who she always has a place for in her heart and in her fantasies, so they never really go away. The new man just takes center stage and becomes the main focus of almost her entire life. So the current obsession is so strange to me. I never saw this one coming, but leave it to her to always find somebody new to fall in love with. The intensity that she has during these periods, it's honestly like she falls in love with these men. I'm laughing so hard just typing this all. Her current obsession is Bret Hart, a former pro wrestler. This woman had never watched wrestling before in her life. She always thought that stuff was below her. And now she's obsessed with this former pro wrestler. She watched one show about him, for reasons I'm not aware of, and I could tell almost instantly where it was headed. I thought, here we go. So now the Bret Hart obsession is in full swing. Has she already dropped close to $1,000 in vintage Bret Hart shirts on eBay? Of course. Has she bought all the stickers and magnets and all sorts of other stupid crap she can find? Yep. Does she send me Bret Hart YouTube clips all day long when she's supposed to be working? Yes, she does. So I better get to work brushing up on my Bret Hart knowledge and taglines. This is the key to getting laid when it comes to her. I'm used to this by now. It's just not something that I can easily explain to anyone I know. I mean, there are things I'm a fan of, but she's on the next level. I can't think of anyone I know who is her age and acts like this. She was voted most likely to grow up and become a groupie when she was in high school, so this is absolutely nothing new for her. Sigh. Many are lighthearted in their comments. Plastic Schedule 891. I mean, he's the best there is, was, and ever will be. So that one makes sense at least. You don't think I'm hearing that 10 times a day now? I better start planning that trip to Calgary. Limerence is mentioned. Poopshitethimoon. Yeah, my bouts of limerence have been with people I've dated. But reading that made me realize that I was very much being obsessive, and that it was totally all-consuming. I'm glad it's over, honestly. Those feelings are exhausting. It is very interesting to hear you say the feelings are exhausting. It's like a full-time job for my wife, so I could see that. She told me she's at work with her door closed, pretending to be working, but she's really watching Bret Hart videos on YouTube. She can't even focus on her job. OP reveals more of the life he signed up for in the comments. Get bread, nuthead. You've pretended to act like other men for 20 years. Damn dude. I hope you're finding ways to accept it and cope. That sounds rough, having to be someone else to have sex. Stay strong, king. Nah, I just learned their catchphrases. Gain some deep fan knowledge that'll impress her. Or maybe perfect a vocal impersonation of them that I can drop at the opportune time. The vocal impersonations work the best as far as making her like me and being like, okay, wanna have sex now. Lost library book. But what do you guys actually share together? That's not related to the obsession with the season. I'm not going to even bother asking if she's tried to learn about any of your hobbies or interests. NGL. This is all pretty grim to me, my man. And I'm someone who loves having a partner who is passionate about things and nerds out. I fear that you've spent so long with her infatuations, steamrolling over your own interests and preferences, that you have convinced yourself that getting attention by proxy, as your main source of validation from your house, is a healthy way to live. If I told you that I was big into anime and Japanese RPGs, And the only way I get interested in doing it with my actual wife is if she adopts the catchphrases and personality characteristics of my latest waifu. Would you feel some concern for my wife's mental health? I'm also wondering about this spending. She's pretty dismissive of my interests and hobbies. I've told her I'd like her to try to pretend to show a little more interest sometimes. I make an effort to show real interest in her stuff, and she does not do the same. I'm very into music, and I do geek out over guitars and gear and things like that. And she couldn't tell you anything about any of the guitars I own other than, he has a blue one, he has a red one. We do love some of the same bands. Of course, she wants to F the band members, and I just want to talk about the chord progression on my favorite guitar tracks. But it's close enough. We like a lot of the same movies and that sort of thing. We have the same sense of humor and can keep each other laughing for hours. We have a lot of the same views on life and on the world in general. I don't know, we just get along, I guess. I would be concerned about the waifu thing, but I guess in my case, she always likes guys who I think are pretty cool anyway. She has good taste, at least. If she has to obsess over some other guy constantly, at least she does it over guys I can respect on some level. Regarding the spending, I spend way more than she does. The only difference is that it's not usually fan merchandise I'm buying. But she tolerates my spending when it comes to stuff like guitar gear. She rolls her eyes and reprimands me, but she tolerates it and just knows I won't stop. I'm the same when it comes to her fan stuff. I get it. She wants the vintage 1993 Bret Hart shirt that costs hundreds, not a modern shirt that just anyone could go online and buy for $25 right now. She wants the cool, rare stuff. I'm the same with my guitars, so I guess it's like we understand each other in some way. I think it's weird to become a fan of somebody and then drop thousands on them 2 days later. At least my money pit is consistent. I think we both feel like we're the only ones who will semi-understand and tolerate all of this stuff from each other. Not included here, but in several comments, OP definitely brings up his wife's looks as a positive in the relationship, and he finds her antics at times amusing or even attractive. Update. I recently wrote about my wife suddenly discovering former pro wrestler Bret the Hitman Hart one day after never even knowing of his existence. She experienced love at first sight and is now even deeper in love with him than she was a month ago. Tonight, I experienced a good hour of her sobbing literal sobs after watching the Bret Hart A&E biography. I just love him so much. I love him with all my heart. I don't want any more bad things to happen to him. Also, I'm very jealous that he's not my husband. She also went from not wanting any kids to suddenly wanting a baby, so she could name it Bret, a girl or a boy. It doesn't matter. They will be named Bret. And she almost had me convinced, but I blame that on the heat of the moment. She's bought all sorts of clothes, just like his. My wife now dresses like Bret Hart inside and outside of the ring. The past few days, she's been acting really annoyed with me. Finally, I'm like, WTF am I doing wrong? I bought you Bret Hart stuff for your birthday. I call you Mrs. Bret Hart now, even though you're my wife. I even sent you flowers at work from Bret. I mean, that was supposed to get me points because she knew they were from me, and I was playing into her obsession, which she's now apparently shared with everyone she works with. They've bought her a giant Bret Hart wall decal for her office. Okay, so I did forget our anniversary, which was very recently. I totally forgot it. Then again, so did she. She was too busy masturbating over Bret Hart to remember our wedding anniversary. I mean, bad husband points for me, obviously, but all the birthday gifts had to have made up for it. I mean, I even ordered a Bret Hart birthday banner and got her a Bret Hart-themed birthday cake, as if she were a 7-year-old boy in 1994. So why is she acting so annoyed lately? Why does she act like she hates me and can't stand to even be in the same room as me? She finally admits. I'm not Bret Hart. None of her obsessions have ever been this bad. She's seriously threatening me with divorce now because I'm not Bret Hart. She just wants a guy like that. She had to go walk the dog today and cry over how much she hates me and wishes she was married to Bret Hart. Oh, F me, you want a guy like your dad, because that's what Bret Hart is like, exactly like her dad, the same look, the same hair, the same damn age. I told her I thought she should get checked out for autism or some other sort of disorder. Her obsessions have never been this bad. She should make an appointment now because the waitlist is long. She just laughed. There's nothing wrong with her. She just has different tastes in men now, according to her. Some comments. Psychic. Therapist here, she needs to see a psychiatrist. This is mental illness to the extreme. Either she goes or you leave. This is ultimatum territory. And stop giving in to her obsession. It makes it worse. Newald 42. Man, when she threatens divorce, take it. Jump at the chance. Hell, sit, be a good boy, and offer your effing paw, if that's what it takes to get treated to an exit strategy. Don't worry about dignity. It sounds like you gave that up a long time ago. She's even looked up the divorce process for where we live and says we can be amicable about everything. She assures me she's not looking to take anything that is rightfully mine. She just wants a clean break. Sophie 3D 546. I'm surprised he even lasted this long. Calling her Miss Bret Hart. I can't even fathom. Excuse me, it's Miss Bret Hart, not S. The OP elaborates on the sharing of responsibilities. I pay all of our shared bills, mortgage, car insurance, all utilities, internet, etc. P. Jerky. What is the old saying? Crazy is fun to sleep with but terrible to be married to. Something like that. She sounds like she would be a blast in the sack. But terrible to be in a committed relationship with. That's pretty much it. Did I also mention she doesn't cook or clean? Not that I expect the woman to do all of that, but she doesn't do it at all. Thank you for watching the video. If you are interested in listening to these kinds of stories, we've got more in store for you. Simply subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, and share it with your friends.